Hi everyone, it's Finks here, and today I'm going to show you how to build a storage house suitable for Endgame. Now, I had a lot of comments on my previous early game storage house video asking for an Endgame version, so I decided to put together a design and make a video about it. This is obviously what it looks like from the outside. If we go inside, we will see there's space for 36 plus black metal chests and some little indents here for some storage carts in case you need to go out and about and carry some extra stuff back and forward. So this is what we're going to be building today. If you are enjoying it as you're watching, then please do leave it a like and consider subscribing to the channel because I do make videos like this all the time. With all that said, let's get started. So the first thing to do is set out the foundation. This is a 7x10 rectangle with a 2-block protrusion for the entrance down at the bottom of the screen there. Once you've got your foundation, you're going to grab the stone wall 1x1 and place it on opposite corners of the second block in from the corners. So we've got a full stone floor here, and then diagonally we'll have the two single 1x1s. Then grab the 2x1s and place them like this. So you end up with the V shape with a sort of one block in the middle there. Once you have your corners in, it's time to work around on the front wall of the structure. So grab your stone wall 2x1 and come 2 blocks in, 1 block out, then we'll go underneath there and finish it off with a stone wall 1x1. Do the exact same on the other side and it's going to look like this. Next up, we want to build in an indentation for the entrance here and create these 2 pockets where we'll have the storage carts later on. The reason we don't just build around the whole outside of the structure is that we actually want to set it up so that the black chests are sort of half inside of the stone walls itself. Now, the only way you can do that is to place the black metal chests first and then place the wall afterwards. So now we can grab the wood floor 1x1s and we're going to be using this mainly just as an indicator of where to place these black chests. But you want to use this stone wall as an indicator, miss the back end of it and place it just in the front there. And do this all the way around the structure. We can start to place the first layer of the black metal chests, and I like to have the front of the chests at the front, so I rotate them like this and use the lines just at the bottom here as an indicator of where to place your chest so that they all look relatively in line at the end of the build. With the 3 chests in place, you can now place the bottom layer of the wall behind and prepare for the next layer of black metal chests by placing the wood floor 1x1 just above. So go ahead and do that for the rest of the build. So this is what it should look like with the first layer complete and you're set up to do the second layer now. So just to show you one more time, using the lines in the middle of the wood floors there, you're going to set up the black metal chests. Build up the wall behind it and place the wood stone floor ready for the next layer. Now you can do as many layers as you like. I've decided to go for 3 because I think it looks the best, and to be honest it's a lot of chests and a lot of materials if you're not playing on creative to even get as much as this. You can go 4 high and still be able to reach, but I think 3 is a good amount. Once you're at this stage, all you need to do now is grab your stone walls and do one last layer so that your walls are actually 1 higher than the level of your chests. And when you're doing this, remember to keep alternating your bricks so that it looks a little bit more natural, and you can finish this off with the stone wall 1x1s. On the outside blocks now, we can use the stone 1x1s to cement in these little areas for the lights. So that's going to be 1 at either side of the entrance and 1 in each corner here. At this stage we can start to put in some of the finer details like these stone arches above the entrance, so it's going to be 4 on either side. And before putting the roof on, I'm just going to place in some of these signs and lights because otherwise with the roof on it becomes quite difficult to get them in. Above each column of chests you're going to have a wood pole 1 meter, and we're going to grab our signs and place it just on the top in the middle there, and then just behind you've got the wisp torch unlocked. Make sure it's as close to the wood pole as possible and place it in. And all we're going to do is do this above every column of chests around the outside. The good thing about the wisp torches is that they don't need fueled up, so it doesn't really matter that they're in an awkward position to reach. We're also going to add in a standing iron torch just kind of in the middle of each of these corners here. And when you're done, it should look like this. I think the wisp torch looks really good because of the particles coming off. It makes it look quite mystical and it definitely makes it look more endgame than some of the stuff you're building earlier on. I also added in a sconce in each of these indents here. Now with all that done, we can start to get the roof in place. Now the easiest way I've found to get the roof structure together is to come to the edge of the foundation here with 2 wood poles up and 3 wood beams along. Then we're going to tie into the structure and follow it around to the front. Go back to our 2 meter beams. and just make it symmetrical on the other side. For the sides, we want to find the middle of this wall here. So because of the way I've done the bricks, you can see that my line is in the middle here. So I just need to get the beam in place using a 1 meter beam, and then I'm just going to tie that back to the wood on the outskirts there, so that we end up with this kind of T shape, and we'll make sure to do that around the whole structure. Now similarly to the front of the structure, we just want to build along, and we can place in a couple of support structures for the time being, just to make sure that this doesn't fall down. But we're going to go all the way around the structure so we have this sort of 1 meter gap all the way along. Now with this all in place, it should be looking like this, and we need to go around and fill in all of these gaps with the 1x1 wood floors, and also tie off the ends on the opposite sides. So once you've filled in all the gaps and put a trim around the inside of the wood floors, it should look exactly like this. And at this stage you can take out these wood poles if you want. If you want to keep them because you like the way that they look, I would just recommend going around the foundations and tying in another wood pole underneath, just so it looks a little bit nicer and doesn't look so randomly positioned. Okay, with that done, we can focus on the roof now. So we're going to grab the wood wall 45 degrees, and on either side of the structure we're going to do a reverse V shape. Grab the wood cross 45 degrees, and we're going to do a row of 3 like this, another row of 3, and then 2 rows of 1 on the top. Then on either side at the bottom, we can tie in another one using the lock point on this wood wall 45 degrees. Then with our 45 degree beam, we can follow the profile that we've set up and finish the shape of the roof. Don't forget to add in a wood beam on these snap points so that we don't have a gap here and here, and do the exact same on the other side. And when it looks like this, you know that you're done. Next up, we need to do the same for the front of the structure here. We're going to go to this corner here where we've stopped the wood wall from going all the way across, and we want to grab the wood wall 45 degrees and tie in. Follow this along by rotating the wood walls each time, and then we can use the wood wall 2 meters, snap into this location, and then that's going to let us place in the wood cross here. Then we can take out this 2 meter one, continue the diagonal, and we'll place a wood cross on the top. Now once you get to this stage, the hard part is pretty much done. All we need to do is follow around the profile that we've already set up and fill in all these spaces with the 45 degree shingle roof. For the top of the structure, we're going to use the roof ridge 45 degrees, and when you're done, it should look like this with just the front part missing. So we need to grab the eye corners, the interior corners, and connect that in on either side. Do the same just at the top section, and then for everything else we can use the roof shingle 45 degrees to come along here. For the overhang at the entrance, I don't really want a full component like this, so I just want to lock it in sort of one back there. It's going to look just like that. All we need to do is put a little trim on the outskirts of the structure, so we need one in either corner here at the bottom of this overhang, and then we'll just follow it around using the standard wood beam, cross on the top, and also a wood beam along the top here. Now we need to do the same for the left and right side of the structures. And since we're leaving the support columns in here, I'm just going to add in 2 more underneath the overhang to make it look a little bit more natural. So we're going to have one here, and I just want to put one underneath as well, just to make sure it looks a little bit better. So that's it pretty much for the exterior of the structure. If you're still watching at this stage, please do leave it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, we just need to do some finishing touches now. The first thing I'm going to start with is putting in these wisp torches. At either side of the entrance we're going to have one, and then at each corner around the outside we're going to place another one as well. Just try and make sure to have it in the center of the block, and once you've done that we can use this carved dark wood divider to cordon these off. I'm going to add in a couple of wards here just above the entrance, and that leaves us with only the inside still to do. For the inside of the structure, I'm going to use the dark wood beams. So I'm going to grab the 2 meter one here and just put a trim on each of these wood floors that we've set up earlier. Go ahead and do the same for the vertical sections. What you want to do is snap on the upper beam here so that it doesn't extend above it like this. And then on the sides, I actually do like to place it just at a normal length so it connects to the top of the stone there. I'm going to place one on this stone pillar here, just for a bit of detail, and then I can just place them at the entrance as well, just to have a bit of continuity around the structure and in these back corners as well. Now because I think it looks a little bit weird with them just hanging around on the top, I'm going to go ahead and put a trim on this outside here. All we need to do now is add in a couple of storage carts, place some dark wood gates at the entrance, and add some stone stairs to the front. There we have it, the Endgame storage house. Here's it from the outside. And inside we have 36 black metal chests, all capable of carrying 32 slots worth of loot. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.